and picture the emerald of the sea, from the fishing boats at Dingle to the shores of Dundee. I miss the river Shannon and the folks at Skibbereen, the moorlands and the meadows and the 40 shades of green. But most of all, I miss a girl in Tipperary town. And most of all, I miss her lips as soft as either down. Again, I want to see and do the things we've done and seen, where the breeze is sweet as Shalimar and there's 40 shades of green. I wish that I could spend an hour at Dublin's churning surf. I'd love to watch the farmers drain the bogs and spade the turf, to see again the thatching of the straw the women glean. I'd walk from Cork to learn to see the 40 shades of green. But most of all, I miss a girl in Tipperary town. And most of all, I miss her lips as soft as either down. Again, I want to see and do the things we've done and seen, where the breeze is sweet as Shalimar and there's 40 shades of green.
In the morning when the world was begun, I danced in the moon and the stars and the sun. I came down from heaven and I danced on earth. At Bethlehem I had my birth. Dance then wherever you may be, I am the Lord of the dance, said he, and I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. I danced for the scribe and the Pharisee, they wouldn't dance and they wouldn't follow me. I danced for the fishermen, for James and John, they followed me and the dance went on. Dance then wherever you may be, I am the Lord of the dance, said he, and I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. I danced on the Sabbath and I cured the lame. The holy people said it was a shame. They stripped me and whipped me and hung me high and left me there on the cross to die. Dance then wherever you may be, I am the Lord of the dance, said he, and I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. I danced on the Friday and the sky turned black. It's hard to dance with the devil in your back. They buried my body and they thought I'd gone, but I am the life and the dance goes on. Dance then wherever you may be, I am the Lord of the dance, said he, and I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. They knocked me down and I jumped up high. I am the life that'll never ever die. I live in you if you live in me, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he. may be. I am the Lord of the dance, and he, and I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, and he. Dance then wherever you may be. I am the Lord of the dance, and he, and I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, and he.
Mellow the moonlight to shine is beginning. Close by the window, young Eileen is spinning. Bent o'er the fire, her blind grandmother sitting, is crooning and moaning and drowsily knitting. Merrily, cheerily, noiselessly whirring, swings the wheel, spins the wheel, while the foot stirring. Sprightly and brightly and airily ringing, thrills the sweet voice of the young maiden singing. Eileen Machara, I hear someone tapping. 'Tis the ivy, dear mother, against the glass flapping. Eily, I surely hear somebody sighing. 'Tis the sound, mother dear, of the autumn winds dying. Merrily, cheerily, noiselessly whirring, swings the wheel, spins the wheel, while the foot stirring. Sprightly and brightly and airily ringing, thrills the sweet voice of the young maiden singing. There's a farm at the casement, the farm of her true love, and he whispers with face bent, I'm waiting for you, love. Get up on the stool, through the lattice step lightly. We'll rove in the grove while the moon's shining brightly. Merrily, cheerily, noiselessly whirring, swings the wheel, spins the wheel, while the foot stirring. Sprightly and brightly and airily ringing, thrills the sweet voice of the young maiden singing. Slower and slower and slower the wheel swings, lower and lower and lower the reel rings. Ere the reel and the wheel stop their ringing and moving, through the grove the young lovers by moonlight are roving.
I am a Westmeath bachelor and me age is 63. I don't intend to marry or to raise a family. I'm happy and contented just to lead a single life, and that's the reason why I don't intend to take a wife with the red stuff on her fingernails and the varnish on her toes, rattle on her owl fizzled and whitewash on her nose. She can get a fancy barber to shave her neck and head, and that's why I'm a bachelor and I don't intend to wed. Last Thursday at the market in the town of Mullingar, a friend he introduced me to a famous movie star. She was married several times before to men of every breed, and she thought she had a supper in the bachelor from Westmeath, with the red stuff on her fingernails and varnish on her toes, Rattle on her owl fizzog and whitewash on her nose. She can get a fancy barber to shave her neck and head. And that's why I'm a bachelor and I don't intend to wed. I'm living with me brother and his little cat and dog. I'm earning £70 a week while working on the bog. Why should I change this life of ease to one of struggle and strife? And that's another reason why I never took a wife. With the red stuff on her fingernails and varnish on her toes, rattle on her owl fizzog and whitewash on her nose. She can get a fancy barber to shave her neck and head. And that's why I'm a bachelor and I don't intend to wed. And that's why I'm a bachelor and I don't intend to wed.
If you ever go across the sea to Ireland, be it only at the closing of your day, you can sit and watch the moon rise over Claddagh and see the sun go down on Galway Bay. Just to see again the ripple of the trout stream, the women in the meadows making hay, or to sit beside the turf fire in a cabin and watch the barefoot lassos at their play. The breeze is blowing o'er the sea from Ireland, are perfumed by the heather as they blow, and the women in the uplands digging pretties speak a language that the strangers do not know. Oh, the strangers came and tried to teach us their ways. They scorned us for being what we are, but they might as well go chasing after moonbeams or light a penny candle from a star. Going to be a life hereafter, and somehow I feel sure there's going to be. I will ask my God to let me make my heaven in that dear land across the Irish Sea.
I'll tell me ma when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. To pull my hair and they stole my comb, but that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, 3, please will you tell me who is he? Albert Mooney says he loves her, all the boys are fighting for her. The knock at the door and the ring at the bells, you know me to rule her very well. Out she comes as white as snow, rings on her fingers, bells on her toes. Old Johnny Murray says she'll die if she doesn't get the fella with the roving eye. The wind and the rain and the hail blow high, the snow come travelling from the sky. She's as nice as apple pie, she'll get her own lad by and by. When she gets a lad of her own, she won't tell her ma when she comes home. Let them all come as they will, for it's Albert Mooney she loves still. I'll tell me ma when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They pulled my hair, they stole my comb, but that's alright till I go home. She's handsome, she's pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She's more than 1, 2, 3, please will you tell me who's he? Albert Mooney says he loves her, all the boys are fighting for her. The knock at the door and the ring at the bells, they know me to rule her very well. Out she comes as white as snow, rings on her fingers, bells on her toes. Old Johnny Murray says she'll die if she doesn't get the fella with the roving eye. Let the wind and the rain and the hail blow high, the snow come travelling from the sky. She's as nice as apple pie, she'll get her own lad by and by. When she gets a lad of her own, she won't tell her ma when she comes home. Let them all come as they will, for it's Albert Mooney she loves still. As I walk down the road on this fine autumn morn, I can see the great combine collecting the corn, and my mind wanders back in a moment of joy to the day of the thrasher when I was a boy. All over the valley you could hear the strange sound of that mighty machine on its annual round. All the men in the townland would follow at will, and they'd all lend a hand with the old thrashing mill. So boil up the bacon and the cabbage that's green, have plenty of spuds laced with butter between, for 8 empty bellies will soon need a fill, for it makes a man hungry, the old thrashing mill. There were 2 on the thrasher and 2 on the stack, and the man with the fork kept the straw flying back. There were bottles of porter and plenty of fags, and now Larry and he looked after the bags. Then a few of the boys built the straw in the reek, while the young ones had fun playing hide and go seek. And myself and my brother with the dogs and the cats had the time of our lives chasing after the rats. So boil up the bacon and the cabbage that's green, have plenty of spuds laced with butter between, for 8 empty bellies will soon need a fill, for it makes a man hungry, the old thrashing mill. But the times keep on changing and nothing stands still. Larry Andy is gone like his old thrashing mill, and most of the workers I knew as a child have reaped the great harvest for which they have toiled. No more in the valley will hear that machine, for just like the corncrake they're gone from the scene. But it makes me feel sad as I dream of it still, for I love the dear sound of the old thrashing mill. So boil up the bacon and the cabbage that's green, have plenty of spuds laced with butter between, for 8 empty bellies will soon need a fill, for it makes a man hungry, the old thrashing mill. For it makes a man hungry, the old thrashing mill.
Everybody needs a little help sometime. No one stands alone. Makes no difference if you're just a child like me, or a king upon a throne. For there are no exceptions. We all stand in the line. Everybody needs a friend. Let me tell you of mine. He's my forever friend. I leave me never, friend. From darkest night to rainbow's end, he's my forever friend. Even when I turn away, he cares for me. His love no one can shake. Even as I walk away, he's by my side with every breath I take. And sometimes I forget him. My halo fails to shine. Sometimes I'm not his friend, but he is always mine. He's my forever friend. My leave me never friend. From darkest night to rainbow's end, he's my forever friend. If you still don't know the one I'm talking of, I think it's time you knew. Long ago and far away upon a cross, my friend died for you. So if you'd like to meet him and don't know what to do, ask my friend into your heart, and he'll be your friend too. He's my forever friend. My leave me never friend. From darkest night to rainbow's end, he's my forever friend. Jesus is my best friend.
I've a nice little cot and a small bit of land in a place by the side of the sea. And I care about no one because I believe there's nobody cares about me. My peace is destroyed and I'm fairly annoyed by a lassie who works in the town. She sighs every day as she passes the way. Do you want your old lobby washed down? Do you want your old lobby washed down? Come shine. Do you want your old lobby washed down? She sighs every day as she passes the way. Do you want your old lobby washed down? The other day the old landlord came by for his rent. I told him no money I had. Besides, wasn't fair for to ask me to pay. The times were so awfully bad. He felt discontent at not getting his rent, and he shook his big head with a frown. Says he, I'll take half, but says I with the laugh, do you want your old lobby washed down? Do you want your old lobby washed down? Conshine, do you want your old lobby washed down? Says he, I'll take half, but says I with the laugh, do you want your old lobby washed down? Now the boys look so bashful when they go courting, they seem to be so very shy. And they kiss the young maid, sure they seem half afraid, but they would if they could on the sly. But me, I do things in a different way, I don't give a nod or a frown. When I goes to court, I says, here goes for sport, do you want your old lobby washed down? Do you want your old lobby washed down? Conshine, do you want your old lobby washed down? When I goes to court, I says, here goes for sport, do you want your old lobby washed down? Do you want your old lobby washed down? Conshine, do you want your old lobby washed down? When I goes to court, I says, here goes for sport, do you want your old lobby washed down?
Well, I've traveled the world, I've heard people say, funny how life has slipped away. But I knew that I'd come back someday to the village where I went to school. In the corner of a field there's a big oak tree. It's been growing there before you and me. I carved my name for all to see in the village where I went to school. I would sit in the class on a winter's morn. Sometimes I'd wish I'd never been born. In second-hand clothes that were tattered and torn, in the village where I went to school. Where are they now? Some went over the sea, odd ones came back to the village like me. There's a smell of bread from the baker's shop, and the little store where we bought our pop. The coal man's old horse, he goes clippity-clop through the village where I went to school. Many childhood memories, like the time when all the school caught fleas, and the orchard where we climbed the trees, in the village where I went to school. Now I've come back home and I reminisce. I look around at the things I missed. As the sun comes up, I watch it kiss the village where I went to school. Like the old village stream, the water flows on. Some folk have stayed while others have gone. Well, I'll look around and I'll find a wife. I've had my share of trouble and strife, and it's here I'll spend the last years of my life, in the village where I went to school. that yourself?
Indeed it is.
Well, you're a stranger here. I don't know when I seen you last. It must be more than a year. How are you doing?
I'm not so bad, and what about yourself?
No use complaining, I suppose, as long as we've got the health.
No use complaining, I suppose, as long as we've got the health.
Where are you now?
I'm still at home, it's the brother that went away. Me father said if one of us left, the other would have to stay.
Sure, jobs are getting very scarce, the unemployment's a curse. But still, I suppose, as the fella says, it's bad that couldn't be worse.
But still, I suppose, as the fella says, it's bad that couldn't be worse. Terrible weather altogether, it's never going to clear.
Do you know what I'm going to tell you, though it's not bad for the time of year?
Sure, a supper ain't never done very much harm. The grass could do with a drop. I'd pass no remarks in a skift or two, as long as there's not the slap. I'd pass no remarks in a skift or two, as long as there's not the slap.
A slap's the last thing that we need for our wee meadows in hay. Do you mind the trade we had last year coming up yon bit of a brae? The mountains coming very close, I don't like the look of the sky. The forecast talked about a change, but you mightn't believe yon boys.
The forecast talked about a change, but you mightn't believe yon boys. Suppose I'd better be heading on, I've held you back enough. It was clearing up at the back of the house, the garden's very rough. I broke the spade and it's awkward when you've only got a grape. And unless you can get the loan of a spade, the garden will have to wait. And unless I can get the loan of a spade, the garden will have to wait.
A spade's an awful misty thing. There's the sun again, but it's only a pet, it will never keep up. I feel a spit of rain.
Would you be using your spade today?
To tell you the truth, I'm not, for I lent it to you a year ago, and since then I never saw it.
For I lent it to you a year ago, and since then I never saw it. With the sun shining down at the flan, the fish and the fairs, at the weddings and wakes and the sports by the lakes, I played tunes till the dawn of the day. And by the old Dublin Bridge I learned reels and slip jigs as me fingers they danced up and down. Now I long for the day when again I can play me old squeeze box round the Mullingar town. I remember the day when I earned my first pay. I went off to the second-hand shop. I paid 10 shillings down, and each week half a crown, till I paid for my little squeeze box. And I practiced each day till I learned how to play, till me fingers could dance up and down. In my little bedroom I learned my first tune on me squeeze box in Mullingar town. Each year on the day I went off to play for the fesh at the Grand County Hall, and feeling right proud with a mighty fine crowd of 350 in all. Step dancers galore who could burn up the floor My musicians made beautiful sounds, but they all came to see Richie, Tommy and me on me squeeze box in Mullingar town. Now me suit is well pressed and I'll be well dressed, 'cause I'm going back home there again. And I'll catch a fast plane, take the Mullingar train, for I miss all my family and friends. Now I bet all the boys have children and wives, sure it's near time that I settle down. And I'll be back to stay, forever to play me old squeeze box round Mullingar town. In Mullingar town, with the sun shining down at the fleadh and the feis and the fairs, at the weddings and wakes and the sports by the lakes, I'll play tunes till the dawn of the day. And by the old Dublin Bridge I'll play reels and slip jigs, and me fingers will dance up and down. I'll be back home to stay, where again I will play me old squeeze box round Mullingar town.
Just a year ago tonight, love, you became my wedded bride, changed my mansion for a cottage, and came to dwell by the riverside. And you told me we'd be happy, but what happiness could be. Now tonight I'm all alone, love, in my cottage by the sea. Now alone, alone you've left me, and no other's love I'll be. All alone, alone you've left me in my cottage by the sea. From my cottage by the seashore, I can see my mansion home. I can see the woods and valleys where together we did roam. Now alone, alone you've left me, and no other's love I'll be. All alone, alone you've left me in my cottage by the sea.
When I was young I spent some time across with me Uncle Mike, and I must have travelled 100 miles on the crossbar of his bike. And as we'd rattle along the lane, Mikey'd start to sing a song without a single word. As the cycle bell would ring, he'd go skiddery diddle doodle diddly diddly ah diddly ah diddly diddle diddly doodle diddly dum, skiddery diddle doodle diddly diddly ah diddly ah diddly diddle diddly dum. Sometimes when he'd be lonely, then he'd often say to me, turn down the wireless and I'll tell you how things used to be. We had no television then, CD or stereo, and if you required some music, well, you had to make your own, like this. Skiddery diddle doodle diddly diddle diddly dum diddly ah diddly diddle diddly doodle diddly dum, skiddery diddle doodle diddly diddle diddly ah diddly ah diddly diddle diddly dum. Well, after church on Sundays, then across the road he'd stand, along with all the other lads in their Sunday suits so grand. The girls would go parading by, such a pretty sight, and one would ask him, Mikey, who are you taking to the dance tonight? He'd say, you'll do the diddly 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 ah skiddery ah diddly doodle diddly 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 dum, you'll do the diddly diddly doodle diddly ah diddly ah diddly 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 dum. When all the hay was gathered in and safe from winter's harm, to be a celebration in the kitchen at the farm. He'd not get home till daybreak, sometimes in quite a state. His ma would ask him where he'd been, oh Mikey'd tell her straight. He'd say, down by the diddly diddly doodle diddly ah skiddery ah diddly doodle diddly diddly dum, down by the diddly diddly doodle diddly ah diddly ah diddly 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 dum. When Uncle Mikey passed away, well, I was a man myself, and he left me his cottage and acre, that's the sum of his worldly wealth. But he was loved by everyone in the country and the town, and I never saw as big a crowd when we laid old Mikey down. We all sang, bye bye the diddly diddle doodle diddly skiddery ah diddly doodle diddly doodle diddly dum, bye bye the diddly diddle doodle diddly ah skiddery ah diddly doodle diddly day, skiddery diddle doodle diddly diddly ah diddly ah diddly diddly doodle diddly dum, skiddery diddle doodle diddly diddly ah diddly ah diddly 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 dum, skiddery diddle doodle diddly diddly ah diddly ah diddly diddly doodle diddly dum, skiddery diddle doodle diddly diddly ah diddly ah.
especially when it happens he's in exile from that dear lovely isle of Innisfree. And as the moonlight peeps across the rooftops of this great city, wondrous though it be, I scarcely feel its wonders or its laughter. I'm once again back home in Innisfree. I wandered on green hills to dreamy valleys to find a peace no other land could know. I hear the birds make music fit for angels and watch the rivers laughing as they flow. But dreams don't last, and dreams are not forgotten, and so I'm bound for stern reality. Although they pave the footpaths here with gold dust, I still would choose my isle of Innisfree.
As I went out one morning, it being the month of May, a farmer and his daughter I spied upon me way, and the girl sat down quite calmly to the milking of her cow, saying I will and I must get married, for the humour is on me now. I be quite me foolish daughter, and hold your simple tongue. You're better free and single and happy while you're young. But the daughter shook her shoulders as she milked her patient cow, saying I will and I must get married, for the humour is on me now. The humour is on me now, boys, the humour is on me now. Saying I will and I must get married, for the humour is on me now. Well, who were you to tell me that married young yourself, and took my darling mother from off the single shelf? A daughter dear, go easy and milk your patient cow, for a man may have his humour, but the humour is off me now. Well, indeed I'll tell me mother the awful things you say, indeed I'll tell me mother this very blessed day. A daughter have a heart now, you'll start a fearful row, so I will unless I marry, for the humour is on me now. The humour is on me now, boys, the humour is on me now, so I will unless I marry, for the humour is on me now. Well, if you must be married, will you tell me who's the man? And quickly she did answer, there's William, James and John, a carpenter, a tailor, and a man to milk the cow. For I will and I must get married, for the humour is on me now. Well, at last the daughter married, and married well to do, and loved her darling husband for a month, a year or two. But John was all a tyrant, and she quickly wrote her vow, said I'm sorry that I married, for the humour is off me now. The humour is off me now, boys, the humour is off me now, said I'm sorry that I married, for the humour is off me now.
pleasant to roam by the sunny shore stream, to hear the dove coo 'neath the morning sunbeam, or the thrush and the robin their sweet notes entwine on the banks of the shore that flows down by Moonkind. Flow on, lovely river, flow gently along by your water so clear. Hums the lark's merry song on your green banks. I wonder where first I did join with you, lovely Molly, the rose of Moonkind. Oh Molly, dear Molly, it breaks my poor heart to know that we two forever must part. But I'll think of you, Molly, when the sun and moon shine on the banks of the shore that flows down by Moonkind. Flow on, lovely river, flow gently along by your water so clear. Hums the lark's merry song on your green banks. I wonder where first I did join with you, lovely Molly, the rose of Moonkind. She has sailed far away o'er the deep rolling foam, far away from the hills of her dear native home, where the fishermen go with their small boats and line on the banks of the shore that flows down by Moonkind. Flow on, lovely river, flow gently along by your water so clear. Hums the lark's merry song on your green banks. I wonder where first I did join with you, lovely Molly, the rose of Moonkind.
Now Terence McFadden he wanted to waltz, but his feet were not gauged that way. So he saw a professor and stated his case, said he's sure I'm willing to pay. The professor looked down in alarm at his feet, and he viewed their enormous expanse. Then he tacked on a 5 to his regular price for teaching McFadden to dance. Oh, 1, 2, 3, balance like me. You're quite a dancer, but you have your faults. Your left foot is lazy, your right foot is crazy, but don't be an easy, I'll teach you to waltz. He took out McFadden before the whole class, and he showed him the steps once or twice. But McFadden's big feet got tied up in a knot. Sure, he thought he was standing on ice. At last he broke loose and struck out with the will, never looking behind or before. But his head got so dizzy he fell on his face and chewed half the wax off the floor. Oh, 1, 2, 3, balance like me. You're quite a dancer, but you have your faults. Your left foot is lazy, your right foot is crazy, but don't be an easy, I'll teach you to waltz.
When Terence had practiced the steps once or twice, sure he thought he had put them down fine. He went to a girl and he asked her to dance, and wheeled her out into the line. He walked on her feet and he fractured her toes, and said that her movements were false. Sure, the poor girl went round for 2 weeks on a crutch for teaching McFadden to waltz. Oh, 1, 2, 3, balance like me. You're quite a dancer, but you have your faults. Your left foot is lazy, your right foot is crazy, but don't be a lazy, I'll teach you to waltz. 1, 2, 3, balance like me. You're quite a dancer, but you have your faults. Your left foot is lazy, your right foot is crazy, but don't be a lazy, I'll teach you to waltz.
Last night I had a pleasant dream. I woke up with a smile. I dreamt that I was back again in dear old Erin's Isle. I thought I saw Loch Allen's banks in the valleys down below. It was my lovely Leitrim where the Shannon waters flow. I stood enchanted by the scene of grandeur and delight. I headed off for Carricktown before the dark of night. I passed Sheemore, that fairy hill where flowers wildly grow, and I saw the grave of Finn McColl where the Shannon waters flow. The next I saw was Fena town with her ancient abbey walls, where the preaching of her holy monks re-echoes through her halls. I stood with reverence on the spot, reluctant for to go from the town of saints and sages where the Shannon waters flow. I have travelled far through these great lands, from the east unto the west, but of all the islands I have seen, I love my own the best. And if ever I return again, there's one place I will go. It will be to lovely Leitrim, where the Shannon waters flow.
I've been a wild rover for many's the year, and I spent all my money on whiskey and beer. But now I'm returning with gold and great stone, and I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover, no, never, no more. I went into an alehouse I used to frequent, and I told the landlady me money was spent. Well, I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. Such a custom as yours I can have any day, and it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover, no, never, no more. I took out from my pocket 10 sovereigns bright, and the landlady's eyes opened wide with delight. She said, I have whiskey and wines of the best, and the words that you spoke there were only in jest. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover, no, never, no more. I'll go home to my parents, confess what I've done, and I'll ask them to pardon their prodigal son. And when they've caressed me as oft times before, sure I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover, no, never, no more. One more time. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover, no, never, no more. I was dreaming of old Ireland and Killarney's lakes and fells. I was dreaming of the Shamrock and the dear old Shandon bells, when my memory suggested in a vision bright and clear all the strange things that would happen if we had old Ireland here. If the Blarney Stone stood out in Sydney Harbour, and Dublin town to Melbourne came to stay. If the Shannon River joined the Brisbane waters, and Killarney's lakes flowed into Botany Bay, if the Shandon bells rang out in all Fremantle, and County Cork in Adelaide did appear, Aaron's sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home. If we only had old Ireland over here. There are lots of lovely lassies dancing on the village green. There are lots of lovely colleens, the finest ever seen, where the boys are all called Paddy and the girls called Molly dear. Sure, we'd wrap the green flag round them if we had old Ireland here. If the Blarney Stone stood out in Sydney Harbour, and Dublin town to Melbourne came to stay, if the Shannon River joined the Brisbane waters, and Killarney's lakes flowed into Botany Bay, if the Shandon bells rang out in old Fremantle, and County Cork in Adelaide did appear, Aaron's sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home, if we only had old Ireland over here. The gable wall is all that's left now. The old thatched cottage has fallen down. I dry my eyes as I fondly remember the days of long ago, when I was young. In my father's house we were poor but rich in love. No TV, but music there was plenty of. My mama hummed old melodies and we all sang along. In my father's house when I was young. Come the time when I am older and my own children are reared and gone, I wonder then, will they fondly remember the days of long ago when they were young? In my father's house a smile would greet you at the door, a friendly word, even travelers there was welcome for. And at night time neighbours rambled in and might stay till 12 or 1 in my father's house when I was young. Years have passed and times are changing. The rambling house has almost gone, but still I hear the laughter of children, just like long ago when I was young. In my father's house we were poor but rich in love. No TV, but good times there were plenty of. We made the best of what we had, and we sang happy songs. In my father's house when I was young. In my father's house when I was young.